Waldo Politics is now live streaming. Just chatting. Let's do the Iraq War again. Getting started soon. Toss any links to cool stories into the Discord. Oh hi any of it. Follow. Oh hi KBP. The robot is manager. The robot cares not for your complaints. The robot is cold and unfeeling.
Oh, hi. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How is everybody today? I am doing great. I have the Bulbasaur family, as you have seen in the past. They are here. They are watching chat. They have their eyes on you. So if you do anything bad or wrong or untoward in chat, the Bulbasaurs will see it. They will judge you, and they will vine whip you, I suppose. Um, yeah, it's summer in my part of the world, so the Bulbasaurs are everywhere. There's so many Bulbasaurs, I can't keep track of them. They're all over the place. I rearranged back here a little bit. I used to have like a big old Tie Fighter back here, but it's just been sitting there for years. It hasn't done anything, and I don't like it that much. So I got a little table. I'll put stuff on it, maybe or maybe not. I'll keep things in it, or maybe not. I don't know. If you've got suggestions on what should go on the table, let me know. If you want to send me something and put it on the table, let me know. That's just the table is going to be there. It'll be looking over my shoulder all the time. Anywho, what's going on? We're at war. Apparently, it seems that we're at war. Let's all go to war. It was such a good, fun time. The last time we went into the Iraq War, not the first time we went into Iraq. That was in the 90s. I was alive for that too. But the second time we went in, it was so much fun. It was so great. So many people died. We had such a good time that we're going to do it again in Iran this time. We'll talk about that tonight. Today is Wednesday, so what I'll do is I've got a handful of links. I'll bring them all up. We'll talk about them. We'll look at them. We'll see what's going on. We will feel the politics together. If you are in Twitch chat, the lovely robot will read your messages out loud, and it's fun. Sometimes.
Robot.
The robot will do that. If you're in Kick chat, I love you, but she won't read out your stuff. If you're in YouTube chat, I love you, but it's real slow over there in YouTube chat. I appreciate you, and I thanks for coming in. You really are helping with my numbers, but the chat on YouTube is incredibly slow. Watch this. I'm going to say slow, and then I'm going to hit the enter button. Watch. I'm going to hit the enter, and we wait, 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 and we wait some more. We're still waiting. There it is. It says slow. That's how long it takes for your messages on YouTube to get to me on the screen. YouTube just has a slower chat. I assume that they're something to do with their encoding or their web code, something technical. But if you're on the Twitch chat, the lovely lady will read it out loud, and you can say hello. And if she starts to annoy me, I'll turn her off. If I'm really picking up steam and making a point or something like that, I will turn her off so that we don't have to hear it when I may turn this into YouTube videos, because that's part of what we do here. I take all of these live streams and I turn them into YouTube videos.
YouTube.
There's the link to the YouTube. Go on over there and watch some videos. They're very exciting. They're very cool. And it's basically just a stream, but like hacked down and edited to make it better and less distorted and cuts out all the awkward pauses, all that fun stuff. Or if you want to tell me what to talk about, Discord, you can tell me what to talk about in the Discord. Go on over to the Discord. There are lots of people in that Discord who are arguing all the time. Debating each other and calling each other slurs. It's a whole thing. So you can go on over there and you can jump into all of that. It's a good time. You can tell people what you're thinking. You can tell people what you're feeling. And you can leave links to stories that I will bring up on screen. It'll be fun. It'll be interactive. You can have a great time. So let's get started not with the war. I know it's in the title. We're going to get to the war here in just a minute. The war will still be there.
Follow Waldo. I don't argue. I just speak quite loudly with an agenda.
Exactly. Any of it is in there. Not arguing, just telling you what's real and how you should feel about it. And we like that about him. So go on over to the Discord and tell us what you're thinking, tell us what you're feeling. But yeah, what are we starting with tonight? We're starting with something incredibly small and stupid, but I think is important. I know the war is on and we need to talk about that, but the first thing I want to talk about tonight is Trump dropping things on the ground. I know this is incredibly stupid, but we're going to watch this. This is very not important, but it is unbearably important. It is functionally, it is amazing, and I will let you see it here because you probably didn't see it. But here we go. Let's go.
The UK, and we just signed a document. This is sorry about that. This is it.
A very important document.
A little windy out here. Give me that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union, and it's a fair deal for both. The UK, and we just...
Okay, so a lot of things are going on in here, and you may have missed a bunch of them. First of all, there is no wind. Look at those trees. Watch them. They're not moving. Those are very still trees. There is no wind. That's not important, though. What is important is that all of those pages are blank. They're empty. They're not. There's nothing on them. They are empty. They are devoid of all ink. They are nothing. They are blank. Because the trade deal isn't real. It's not a thing. This is kayfabe. If you've been on the internet, you might have heard that term before. What is a kayfabe, Waldo? Well, kayfabe is, in professional wrestling, kayfabe is the practice of pre-setting staged events as real. It involves maintaining the illusion that storylines, rivalries, and characters are authentic, even though they are predetermined and scripted. This includes wrestlers staying in character even outside the ring and promoting feuds and alliances as genuine. That's what we're looking at, not an actual global politics.
A tiny lie for nothing equals big lies for whatever the liar wants.
Exactly. I hate to break this to you, but The Undertaker doesn't actually hate Triple H. Okay? They're just actors saying their lines and pretending to hit each other. These two clowns, not those two clowns, these two clowns, Donald Trump and what's the guy's name? The head of the UK? I forget his name. Regardless, whatever his name is. They are exactly the same. They are just doing wrestling right now. This deal does not exist. Those blank pages are not an accident. There are no specifics of the deal. The deal isn't real. McFoo-face, yeah, whatever his name is. The deal isn't real. There's nothing there. And I think this is chef's kiss, crystallized essence of Donald Trump. These 20 seconds teach you everything you need to know about him. The way he runs a business and the country. Nothingness on display and for sale. I'm going to look into the camera when I do that. Nothingness on display and for sale. Because that's what he's given you. Nothing. And he's selling it to you. There are no laws applied with this deal. No regulations, no guidelines, no codes of conduct. He doesn't even get the countries right. Because, not sure if you caught this either, but that's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. They're not in the European Union anymore. Remember the whole Brexit thing? He's providing you with nothing. And the wrong people are standing on the screen. He has a deal with the EU. He said it. But that's the head of the UK. They're not in the European Union. He doesn't even bother to get his bullshit straight before he shovels it into your face. Not only is he a liar, he's bad at it. It's blatant. It's obvious. We see it. If you pay even a little bit of attention, you'll notice. He's providing you with nothing, and it is for sale. If he were still in the business world, he would be selling this as a product or as proof that he's doing all this business and very important and very wealthy, and a big bank needs to loan him some money, and maybe they'll get it back. Probably not, but maybe. But as a politician, he is selling you this idea to the public. He's selling it via the right-wing media. Fox News will sell this to the low IQ Americans as proof that he is a super genius and so good at statecraft. He's the best president ever, and he is saving you all this money. And the chuds in the center of the country, they don't want to hear about complex trade negotiations. They don't want to hear about the minutia of a 4% tax on steel and then a 2% on potash, or trade negotiations and things going back and forth, border disputes, how much this textile costs, but is this thing a textile? Is a costume a textile? It's very, very complicated. But not when Donnie does it, because he doesn't do it. He doesn't make trade deals. He extorts the other world leaders into standing next to him and saying they have a deal. That's his entire plan. Hurt their economy with threats of sanctions.
Mafia strats. His pappy taught him.
That's all this is. It's mafia shit. He threatens them with harm through economics and or war. And when they come to him and say, okay, here's what I will give you, like the Qataris gave him a damn plane. The Saudis gave him a bunch of money. The Saudis have been paying him for a very long time. They've been renting his hotel rooms and then just not showing up. They rent his biggest, most expensive penthouses and then don't show up because they just want him to have the money. They're doing that through crypto now as well. They're just buying all his crypto and then he sells it for money and then they buy it for more with money. They buy it, he sells it, they buy some more to give him the money. It's mafia shit. Sure is a nice country you have there. It would be a shame if something would happen to it. What are you going to give me to stop bad things from happening to your country? That is his entire game. And it's what the morons in the center of the country voted for. They want spectacle. That's why they hired a former TV game show host. They recognize him from several movies. They don't care what's real. They want the kayfabe.
Money equals power. The end, and they'd follow that money into oblivion.
They would follow that. Yeah, well, Donnie would. The people would give him the money to make themselves feel better. It's what they do. That's why they give him money and power and authority, because that makes them feel better. They love being told what to do by a strong man who uses very tiny words. They don't want boring stewards of democracy. They don't want boring politicians who just weigh everything and then put together a 100-page plan on how to move ahead and increase and benefit by 1%, to increase the numbers by 1%. That's boring. That's gay. They hate it. It's gay and dumb, and they don't want to do it. So they want the kayfabe. They want interesting characters bouncing off of each other in dramatic ways. It keeps their tiny minds engaged. And that's great for wrestling. It really is. I watched it when I was a kid. I grew out of it. Most Americans didn't. Well, not most, but a lot of Americans didn't grow out of it. It's good for Marvel movies, colorful characters and funny costumes banging against each other and exploding things. Great. It's good for anime. I'm on board for it. Let's do that. Go for it. But it's not great for It's not great for global economic policy. That shit is careful and has to be done properly, or people starve to death. And that is coming. If and when these, and I think it is only a small matter of time until his insane lack of understanding of the economy hurts us a lot. All the other countries are abandoning us. They can't make deals with us. They can't deal with us. They can't plan for tomorrow when they don't know what the rules are going to be on tomorrow's economic game. So they're just going to stop doing business with us. And to him, that makes it that he would probably like that idea. I know the hard right-wing types would like that because they want isolationism. They want America to have strong borders and nobody goes in and nobody goes out, and everything that you buy is made in America and everything you sell is made in America.
They don't care about irregular poor in the U.S. They extra don't care about starving people in other countries.
Absolutely. Starving people in other countries because we made an insane tariff is fine. He doesn't care. That's their fault for being poor. It's their fault for screwing up and not doing the right thing. Why have they tried being rich? Have they tried being a millionaire? I mean, give it a shot, you know? And if this were any other politician, this would tank their entire career. He had blank pages. Doesn't know the difference between the EU and the UK. He doesn't know. This would ruin anybody else's career. I had to watch hours of Hillary tripping over a ramp. And then we had to have endless debates about whether or not she was physically, mentally capable of being the president. Weeks on end of Joe Biden misspeaking and stuttering. If Biden had done this with the papers, CNN would be all over it. They would be absolutely apeshit over this thing. Their number one anchor, Jake Tapper, would write a book about it. He'd give it a clever name, something about blank pages or something like that. I made a short on the last
He's the
stream.
masked, unmasked candidate. Master of dog whistles and the jack of nothing.
Exactly. He is whatever they want him to be. He is whatever they feel like he is. And the media sane washes him, changes all the things that he's doing, and tells you how it's not so bad. It is that bad. Don't listen to them. I don't listen to them. They're all over the damn place. All the media is on the right. There is no left-wing media. There's no such thing. I made a short during my last stream, little 60-second clip thing, and I'm still thinking about it because what I said there was that the Republicans turn lies into power. And that's what you could see with this thing. He's lying to you about the wind. He's lying to you about having a trade deal with the EU. He's lying to you about having a deal at all because the pages are blank. He's lying to you and turning it into power. The right-wing media will take this and, like I said, build it up and talk about how great and smart he is. And then the people in the middle will love it. The people on the right will talk about it as if it's a real thing that happened. Trump lies about the global trade deficits. He lies about the tariffs. He lies about the deals. And then he solves all of those imaginary problems with blank paper. Right-wing media then spins it into absolute proof that he's the most powerful statesman ever. And the ignorant public feels the message and continues to support the right-wing causes, increasing their power. What do the Dems do? Well, they take truth and turn it into nothing. The Dems, they could turn this into an easy win. They could turn this into a political attack, but they won't because they're wieners. They don't want to win. They don't want easy wins. They will squander it. Even if they wanted to comment on this, the mainstream Democrats, everything they have to do goes through a dozen filters first. They would have to check with the consultants to determine how the people are feeling about this issue. They would have to see if the video is trending. They'd have to find out whether or not people are even paying attention to this. They would have to check with the think tanks to find the right verbiage and the messaging. They would have to talk to their campaign teams to find the right words and the right medium for sending out a message about this. They would have to run all of that by the lobbyists to make sure that they aren't pissing off any of their corporate donors. Then they would have to check the poll numbers about the public's perception of the issue. Then maybe, if we're lucky, Chuck Schumer will make a bland, inoffensive tweet about this a week after it happened.
Tinfoiled up. I think they want Trump. Trump equals power consolidation. They like that.
We will. I don't think they want Trump. I think they want Republicans to be the same boring nothing that they are. I don't think Chuck Schumer wants Trump. I think Chuck Schumer wants a handful of different things, but he wants to be in second place.
Sure.
Yeah, it is. It's far more difficult to be one of the mainstream Democrats because they have to want to say
Join
left-leaning
the Discord
things.
to send links and suggestions. https://discord.gg/mjetritz8.
Thank you, interrupting robot. So they want to say left-leaning things. They want you to feel like they are pushing left-leaning progressive causes, but they are not willing to do any of the work.
That Gaza is getting a California pizza kitchen.
Gaza is getting a California pizza kitchen. Well, I hope so. They're hungry over there, Flavortown. They need some food. I would love for them to get more food. But we're talking about Democrats right now. They don't want to actually do anything. They want to say Democratic-leaning things, say left-leaning progressive things, but then do nothing, and then collect all the checks. That's why, and the consolidation of power, we'll get to that, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin and crypto at the end of the stream tonight, and that's where they're getting all their money these days. That's coming. They're about to get paid off of that too. The Dems are completely unequipped to handle the enormous volume of high-pressured stupid that comes out of Trump's mouth.
Trump hotels have pizza places by default?
Probably. I mean, it would make sense. But he spews so much bullshit, so much lies, so many poisonous, toxic things that it's incredibly difficult to keep up with that. And the Dems can't because of the steps I just told you they have to go through. They have to go through the people. They have to go through all these steps before they even speak their opinions. They can't tell you what they're thinking because the consultants haven't told them what to think yet. And that slows their reaction time down. That brings them to a crawl. It was 3 weeks after the election and they finally started talking about egg prices. You know, they are so far behind because they are careful. They look so carefully at where they're going to put their foot down that they don't walk very fast. It's incredibly frustrating because Donald Trump and the fascists that follow him are spewing new hate every day. They're spitting on this subject. They're moving on to the other one. And if I want to talk about this thing that happened and I think is important, it's already out of the damn news, if it got in the news at all, because they're moving on to bombing Iran. You know, I only stream twice a week, but I'm so far behind the times because the times they are changing so fast. So what's the point? What's the point of all this? Dems can't beat him. They can't. The Joe Biden beating him once was an anomaly. I wish it hadn't happened. I really do. I wish Joe Biden had lost. Donnie would have been done. It would have been over. We could have done something else. He still would have been surrounded by all those Republicans who were trying to control him, and it would have been mediocre, but it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. The fact that he got away with Jan 6, no punishment, no negative consequences, means that he knows, and all the people around him, and all the fascists, the Stephen Miller types, the fascist authoritarians that followed Trump around, know that they will never face consequences for any of the attacks they do. They will never face consequences for any of the bad things they do. And they know that now. So they're not afraid of consequences and repercussions. There aren't any. It's just a mad dash to power. And the Dems don't want it. They're giving it away. They're doing nothing. They're going to write sternly worded letters and Rome will burn. Our entire country will collapse because of Donald Trump's terrible, terrible choices and the things that he did. And the Dems will say, see, he did the things.
TBF, red tape is what makes the world just. We hate how slow it is, but bureaucrats stop stuff from happening too fast. The issue with Trump is that he's exploiting them and our hatred of them.
Yeah, you're right. He does move too fast for the Dems, and he's skipping steps. He just runs forward at full speed. If a Dem had done anything if the Dem had done this and dropped a thing, it would be on Fox News prime time. They would be screaming about it, and then I'd have to hear about it for years. But yeah, the Dems are the wrong people to take him on. They really are. They move too slow. I know that bureaucracy makes the world a better place because that keeps things from going wrong and it keeps things slow and steady. Congress and progress are opposites after all. That makes sense. But Johnny is specifically bred to break that system. His entire, not ideology, because he doesn't have one. He doesn't have any principles. He doesn't have any ethics. He doesn't have any guidelines. His ability to break things is the worst thing for a bureaucrat. They can't keep up with the amount of things he's breaking. I mean, today, I'm not sure what Merrick Garland is up to today, but I suspect that Merrick Garland is still deciding whether or not to prosecute Trump for Jan 6th. They weren't sure what to do. So they didn't, so they kicked the can down the road and they thought about it and they thought about it and they thought about it and they thought about it.
He has two ideologies. Money and himself, in that order. Well,
I don't even know if those are ideologies, man. I think he's a base creature. He is a, he's like, he's just lizard brain, you know? I have a lizard brain, then I have a monkey, and then I have a human brain. Kind of. There's 3 parts to your brain. He's just lizard brain, right? Just give me what I want. Give it all to me right now. Give me some more. I want more. I want more power. I need more money. I need more money to get more power. I need more power to get more money. I need more votes to get more power. And he just continues going on. There's no thought to it. There's no planning. If he disagrees with what he said last week, he doesn't care. He wouldn't even notice, even if you pointed it out. And we can't beat that with politeness, with rules. You have to point it out to the people. We need the media to say it.
He's just a guy doing guy stuff, being guided by the system. Money and himself are a byproduct.
Well, no, he wants the money because it gives him the power. He wants the power because it gives him the makes him feel good. He's just doing the thing that gets him the most money and the most power for himself. That's the only will he has. Get more money, get more power, so that you can get more money, so that you can get more power, so you can get more money. There's very little planning involved. It's not like he hasn't got a 5-year plan. He doesn't know he doesn't know what's happening tomorrow. But when he wakes up tomorrow, he'll make a decision on what gives him the most power, the most money, and he'll do it. The end. And is that part of our system? Yeah, he's like I don't say he's not a side effect of the system.
Papa said plus a group of manipulators.
Well, I don't know that he even thinks about his father. You know, he can probably remember him if you ask him, but I don't think that's even part of it. He's like the demons from Free Run. He really is. He doesn't know what the words are. He doesn't know what they mean. He's like one of those cockatoo, one of those little parrots that can tell you what color things are and tell you that it's made out of glass. You hold this cup up to the parrot and the parrot touches it and says plastic. The parrot doesn't know what plastic is, but he's been trained to say plastic when he feels plastic. You know, if you hold up a glass or something like that, if you hold up a glass, he'd be like, glass. He doesn't know what glass is, but he knows the feeling of it. And I think that Donald Trump is exactly the same. He just says the thing that gets him the most money. He's just one step above them, but still below a normal human being. With thoughts, ideas, ideology. He doesn't have any ideology. He doesn't have any higher brain function. He has only lower brain function, is what I'm trying to get at, I suppose. It's complicated. It's difficult to think about. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about tonight? So, yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to talk about, kayfabe. Let's close that link and that link. And then let's talk about the war. Who's ready to go to war? Yeah. Who's ready to die for Israel? Hooray. Let's do it.
His dad was a millionaire real estate mogul and seeded Trump's real estate deals.
Yeah. And his father it was an important part of his life, but I don't think even then Johnny knew what he was doing. He was just a creature of instinct. He is 100% creature of instinct. not planning, not because somebody did the math and they said his dad left him this much money. And if he had just done literally nothing,
Yay war.
he'd have had more money, but he squandered it and spent it on dumb shit and spent it on bad ideas because he felt the instinct at that moment to do that deal, to buy that casino, to buy this product, to launch this new thing. And they failed. And he doesn't understand why. He wouldn't comprehend why they failed. He doesn't know why the casino failed. He doesn't know why he went bankrupt. He just knows that he tried to do a thing and that it failed because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a beast of instinct. Deer in the headlights, the deer don't know what to do. They don't comprehend what's happening. Their brain can't function properly. And I think he's not dying. He's not standing in front of a car being hit. He's snaking around, but yeah, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Yeah. Who's ready to die for Israel? Not me. I would rather not die for Israel or to Iran.
TBF, he turned his pop's money into the presidency and a dozen subsidies bankruptcies.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's look at what else we have to be excited about. We now have complete, total control over the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to the American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. This is gibberish, man. This is fucking gibberish. This doesn't make any sense. No one knows what this means. Is there a no-fly zone? That's an act of war. If that's true, and America's doing it, we are at war with Iran right now. That's an act of war. It really is. But because Donald Trump is a moron who doesn't know what words mean, we're not even sure if this is true.
Yes, we do have jets and they have less.
And we don't know if the things he's saying are attached to reality. He could just be misunderstanding something somebody else told him about us having more jets. He doesn't know what this means. He doesn't know what a no-fly zone means. He doesn't know what air superiority means. He just feels like we did a thing. And that's what I'm saying. He just bounces around from one feeling to the next. What else have we got? We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target, but is safe there. We're not going to take him out, kill, at least for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's been doing the thank you for attention to this matter for a while. I might start signing off all of my streams with thank you for your attention on this matter. It's very good. This is insane. This is more nonsense. Like, he's saying that we know where the supreme leader is and we can kill him anytime we want. That's not negotiation. That's just bluster.
I prefer is he takes him out, not kill, Imo.
Right. And he puts kill in apostrophes, man. Like, none of this makes sense. He doesn't know what's going on. He is a moron who barely comprehends any of the things that are happening. Unconditional surrender. Here we go. But again, the Shark Hand has it right. But unconditional surrender to whom and what sort of peace process are we talking about? Iran and the U.S. were negotiating as recently as last week. A barely coherent belligerence is not concealing, just fighting and killing for its own sake. That's what we're going to get if Donnie's in charge. We are going to get incoherent belligerence from him every day talking about this while people just murder each other on the ground. It's going to be awful. Right now, I think Israel has done some bombs and they have sent some, and Iran sent some rockets back. Why is this happening? Because they're both pieces of shit. And we're on the side of one of those pieces of shit. Iran is a country that knows how the game is played. The game we're playing is global thermonuclear politics. In our current setup, if you have nukes, you're at the big kid table. You're at the adult table. If you don't have nukes, you're at the children's table at the UN. You're at the children's table. You don't get to vote on things. You're not an important person. You get stepped on by all the big countries. So you have to become one of the big countries. And the only way to do that is to have nukes. I don't make the rules. That's the way that the UN was set up. I wish it weren't true, but it is. That's the way it works right now. Have you seen, Russia has nukes. Have you seen what they're doing to Ukraine? Did you see what they did to Georgia? Did you see what they did to the Crimean Peninsula? They're allowed to do all those things because if we step on them too hard, if we push back too hard, they will launch nukes at us. So you're allowed to do things like that. Having nukes means you get to be a more important country who gets to do more things. You get more freedom. You get more power. You get more authority. You get to squash your neighbors. And maybe we'll help out your neighbors, and maybe we won't. America is helping out Ukraine right now, but not too much, because if we give them too much stuff, then Russia will launch nukes at us. Iran sees that. Everyone in global politics sees that if you have nukes, you get to do more things you want to do. You get more freedom, you get more power, you get to do whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but you have a lot more authority. And Iran wants to be on that table.
The nuance is goofy. He ran on no war, but because of him and liberal racism, war doesn't apply to brown countries.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit Bush FRFR.
And that's why I said we're doing the Iraq war again. We're just going to do it again. It's going to be exactly the same. Only worse, because it's a much bigger country. So Iran sees the deal. They recognize global politics for what it is. They know that they need these weapons to be at the adults' table. And they want to be at the adults' table because they feel like they are an important country and they are valuable and that their people are important. And they don't want to get squished by some other, by Russia or by China or by somebody else who comes along and tries to squash them, or Israel, who's trying to squash them right now. Israel has nukes provided by America. Israel has missiles provided by America. Israel bombed Iran with American missiles and bombs. America bombed Iran. That's all there's to it. There's no way around it. They are our unruly child. Israel is the unruly child, the unruly teenager of America. And what they do, we are responsible for. Because they are our unruly child. And we need to hold them accountable.
Our missiles good.
Our missiles are good, yeah. We need to discipline them. We need to keep them in check. We need to prevent them from acting out, acting badly. But we're not doing that because they provide tons of money to tons of politicians. They are doing, I would say, a genocide. I know everybody pisses and moans and argues and gripes and complains about what's happening in Gaza, but I'm calling it a genocide. It's been a genocide. It's always been that way. They're doing a genocide in Gaza. They're trying to create an ethno-state in Israel. They want it to be an ethno-state. I don't care if it is of Jewish people. No ethno-states. See, I have principles.
It's a genocide from every way you look at it, for real.
I think so too, but there are the pedants in chat sometimes who, not you, but he hasn't been here in a while, but there was a pedant who used to argue with me about whether or not it was a genocide. I think it is. They want an ethno-state. Israel wants to be a state of and for Israeli Jewish people. Maybe other people can visit, but you're not going to have, all the rights and you're going to be a second class citizen when you go there if you're not one of them. It's an ethno-state. I don't like that. Even if it is Jewish people, even if it is the descendants of the people who survived the Holocaust. I don't want the descendants of the people who survived the Holocaust to make an ethno-state. But that's because I have principles, and they don't. The right wing doesn't have principles. They don't have ethics. They don't recognize that something bad happened to them a long time ago means they get to do bad things now. It's not how it works. That's not how correctness or justice functions. But they don't know what those words mean. They don't know what justice means. Donald doesn't know what justice means. Justice means he gets to feel good about whatever he did last week. Justice means he gets to like what he sees in front of him. If he doesn't like what he sees, it's not justice. It doesn't matter what it is. So, no ethno-states. It's a very simple stance to take. It's a very good and easy stance to take. No ethno-states. It's two words. Ethno-state, I think, is one word. So you can push that. It makes sense to the people who are watching it. But where was I going with this? Yeah, Iran. Netanyahu.
I never thought never again meant just the Jews. I especially never thought it meant just Israel while it pretends to be the Jews.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what that means. They just know that it's a strong sentence that they can say, that Ben Shapiro will repeat, that all the people can say, but it doesn't mean anything. They'll abandon that idea. They'll abandon the never again idea the minute it benefits Israel. Netanyahu will abandon that. I don't even think Netanyahu's a religious person. He's just all about the power. He's been telling us for a very long time that Iran is inches away from getting nukes. And I think we can watch it right here. Here we go. Here he is. This guy just wants power, and he will step on anyone to get it.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge.
Look at the dates
to
up
make
here.
a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
2015, they're weeks away.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having
2012, they're 6 months away.
the rich uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
2006, they're just minutes away from having this.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
1996, they're inches away.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5
3 to 5 years, 1995. So he thinks 1998, maybe 2000, they'll have some nuclear bombs. That man does not care.
In our mutual assured order, Iran should get nukes. Its enemies have them and could use them with no consequence.
Right, and that is what their point is. That's their position. Hey, we would like this to protect ourselves. North Korea has nukes, and they're protected. The reason we don't stomp into North Korea and drag them out and drag them into the 21st century is because they have those nuclear weapons. They're not on ICBMs. They're on very short-range missiles, but they would launch them into our friendly ally, South Korea, if we invaded them.
Israel has nukes.
Israel has nukes, absolutely, and could drop them on Iran right now if they wanted to. And Donnie would say, okay. I don't know that Donnie even knows what's going on. I don't think Donald Trump knows what's happening with this war. He is so all over the place. Last week, he's making a deal with them. 5 years ago, he hated the Obama deal and talked about how terrible it was. And then last week, he's trying to put back, he canceled the Obama deal in 2018. And then last week, he's trying to rebuild the Obama deal. Why would anybody ever deal with him? Why would anyone talk to him? The things he says aren't true and will not hold up over time. Obama put together diplomacy. Donald Trump canceled it. Then he lied about what it was, and then he's trying to rebuild the exact same deal again. Why would anybody put up with that? How can you trust it? He has ruined our credibility. Donald Trump has destroyed any credibility the Americans have. You can't speak to him and expect the things he says today to be true tomorrow. You can't. It's impossible. What was I about to think? What was I going to? I lost my train. But yeah, the things don't work. They won't connect. I've got a cool graph here. Let's look at this graph. Let's look at this. Let's close
Your
this.
Your great-granddad's racistish best friend is running the country on vibes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. George W. Bush got us into Iraq, and that ruined our credibility. Donald Trump is going to get us into Iran and destroy any credibility we have left. Iraq was a gigantic mistake. All the people who look at it No, it's a mistake. Everybody hates it. Nobody likes it. Today, 2025, you would be hard-pressed to find anybody who said Iraq was a good idea and was run properly. It's not what they said back then. Sean Hannity loved the war in Iraq. It was for freedom. We were going there to spread apple pie and bald eagles, and we were going to liberate them. We were bringing peace through bombs. We were going to bomb the shit out of their evil, despotic, Saddam, insane. We were going to liberate them. We would be greeted as liberators. They would be cheering us in the streets for removing these terrible people. That was a country of 25 million people, probably less now that we killed 1 million of them, but I don't know if they've recovered yet, but it was 25 million people. Iran has 90 million and more weaponry, more military, more underground bases. They are a much bigger, more developed country than Iraq was. This will go very badly. It will go so badly. It will cost ridiculous amounts of money, and Johnny will spend it. He doesn't care. You will lose your benefits. You will lose your rights. You will lose government functions, and you'll have to pay more taxes so that we can pour it down this bottomless pit of dumbass ideas that didn't have to happen. Donnie promised. Oh, the Iraq.
Bald eagles are directly related to seagulls, and the sound effect for bald eagles in movies is actually a hawk. Real eagles sound like loud seagulls.
I have seen some. I've been around bald eagles, and there was one right outside my house. There was one on this house, like 5 feet away from me, on my roof, but we weren't happy about that.
And we're going to occupy Iran for 20 years.
Right, and then we're going to have to occupy them. We're going to have to. Yeah, there was a bald eagle on my house, but we had to chase it away because it's big enough to eat the dogs. Like you've seen Bobo, the baby bark boy, and my little Chihuahua. I've got tiny little dogs. They would be eaten alive by a eagle, so we had to chase it off and get rid of it and make sure it doesn't come back. But yeah, we will have to occupy them. Everything that happened in Iraq
Neck
will be worse, so much worse. Once we go to Iran, they have more infrastructure, they have more people, they have more houses, they have more weaponry. They've been sponsoring terrorism. Yes, that is a bad thing they're doing. But the reason they're doing that is to have more global authority, more global power. We could have stopped that. We could have wiped out their need to sponsor terrorism. They have been doing it for the past 20 years. They've been doing it for 40 or 50 years. But we could have gotten rid of that by making a deal with them. That was part of the Obama deal. Let me find this super cool chart. Where's my super cool chart?
There's a family of bald eagles that migrates to a tree in my neighbor's yards, and sometimes a family of hawks chase them off. I live in a small city, BTWSD.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's neat. That's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, I felt a silly amount of, was it pride? I don't know. Maybe. I looked out this window right here and I saw a bald eagle on top of my house, and I was like, yeah, buddy, you know what's up. Clearly I am blessed as an American, and I am America. This is the sign that I'm doing everything right. And then I was like, oh God, no, he's looking at the yard where the Chihuahua lives. And I'm like, okay, you gotta go, bud. So look at this chart. What is this chart? It's Iran's nuclear activity turned into a chart. Now, if you'll notice, the stuff down here in the 2011 times, they had a few. These are how many the number of centrifuges. Centrifuges are necessary for doing the nuclear stuff. Thanks, Age of Crocodile. I appreciate it. It's always nice to get nice comments. Thank you. So what do we got? We've got, so those are the number of centrifuges they have or had in the past. So they had a few in 2011. They got a few more over 2013, 14. In 2016, this is the Obama deal that we made with them. The part of the deal was you get rid of your centrifuges so that you can't make nuclear material. We will sponsor you into becoming a big kid, an adult table country. If you show us that you are serious and you are following the rules, we will give you some of the money that we stole from you. We will give you access to the adult table. And after a few years, you can start your centrifuges back up. We will come and inspect them. We'll make sure they work. We will be allies. This plan, Trump shit on, every Republican shit on, everyone on the news, on Fox News, everyone on CNN, all of the media. Most of the media was right-wing back then, probably not as far as they are right-wing now, but they all shit on this deal. It was actual, legitimate diplomacy. And it took years to put together because actual legitimate diplomacy is difficult. It's not easy. It's incredibly complex. So they had fewer centrifuges,
It really
as you can
does
see.
require a deal, though. Why wouldn't they make their own nuclear stuff without one? Again, their enemies have nukes.
Exactly. They know the game. We are respecting that they know the game, and we are giving them a way to move forward in that game while also being friendly with us, accepting our ideas, accepting our criticism. Then we can tell them, if you keep sponsoring the Houthis, we will shut down this deal. We will close off the markets that you are now enjoying. We will harm you. We will hurt you if you sponsor the terrorism. So they wouldn't have done it. If we can give them more than the terrorists can give them, they will come to us. They're a nation state. Nation states don't make decisions based on ideology. Motherfucker, what kind of baby brain kindergarten first fucking day of politics does Donald Trump think he's running here? Countries don't make decisions based on ideology. That's for the proles. That's for the peons. That's for the idiots in the street. Netanyahu is not Jewish. He's power hungry. Donald Trump is not Donald Trump is not Presbyterian or whatever the hell he is. He's power hungry. The Ayatollah in Iran is not Muslim. He's power hungry. And if he gets more power by being friends with America, he will. If America is standing in his way and shutting him out of markets and closing down his global trade, he will say death to America. And then the proles that are under him will chant it. If you want to defeat extremist Muslim ideology, make their leaders...
Right now, Iran in general just wants to not get bombed.
...friends with America. Make their leaders friends with America. This will change their mind. Make their leaders allies. Set rules. It's very difficult. You have to set the rules, and that's what this deal was. That's what this Obama deal was. It was rules that they had to follow so that they could become a grown-up state, a real country. And they were following it until Donald Trump shit on that plan, shit on that democracy, on that diplomacy, because he doesn't understand it. He does not understand any of the things that I have been talking about. Donald Trump does not understand any of the things I'm talking about. He is too stupid to recognize it. He's too stupid to comprehend it. He cannot wrap his head around global politics. It's incredibly difficult. I'm not an expert. I'm talking out my ass. But I know more than him. And he shit on the Obama plan because it had Obama's name on it. That's why he was okay with renegotiating the exact same plan with them last week. Because he didn't know what was in the plan. He didn't read it. God, he barely even pays attention to his own daily briefings in the White House. He's not going to read through the Obama diplomacy plan. No. No. He doesn't know what any of that stuff means. He just knows it had Obama's name on it, so he shit on it. Obamacare had Obama's name on it, so he had to shit on that too, and call for the end, for its end. Where's the robot messages coming from? Those are on Twitch, friend. Those are. Can I do TWITCH?
Twitch.
Now, the Twitch link is probably somewhere. Yeah, if you're in the Twitch chat, the lovely Lady Canooch will read those things out to you. Maybe there. Bam.
Let's do the Iraq War again. It went so well the first time. Hop into chat and tell me what you're thinking. https://www.twitch.tv/waldopolitics.
So you can go there, and the lady will read that stuff out for you. So, yeah, the Donald Trump doesn't know what any of that means. He doesn't know what anybody is. He's too stupid to understand these things. He just knows it has Obama's name on it, so he needs to shit on it. He needs to shut it down because it says Obama. Obamacare has to be gone. Obama education plan has to be gone. Anybody who's named Obama needs to be gone. And because he doesn't know what any of that means.
Trump has the same understanding of politics as my 16-year-old in a GDARP server as a cop with aspirations to become a drug lord and a bunch of friends who thinks he'd be really, really good at it.
Right. He doesn't know what any of that stuff is. He just knows that if he shits on Obama, he gets more power and more money. He shits on Obamacare, he gets more money, he gets more power, he gets more authority, and the people cheer for him and they clap for him and they love him. But what was I going for here? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to this chart. Chart. Look at it. So there were no nuclear things happening during this time. There were still no nuclear things happening. And then they started ramping up. Why? Because the rules were gone. The limitation that we had placed upon them and that they were accepting was gone. Why would they continue to deal with this? Why would they continue to be our ally when we are schizophrenic? And that's what we are. America is a schizo country. We keep electing centrists, then hard right-wingers, then centrists, then hard right-wingers, and they keep on doing each other's plans. We're schizo country. So they've abandoned us. They're not going to pay attention any longer. So this is where we are now. This is what they're going to do. They're going to get a nuclear weapon, whether you like it or not. They weren't getting nuclear weapons way back here. Way back in these days, they weren't. Wasn't happening. Maybe they would eventually get one, but they would be our ally at that point. At that time, we would be simpatico, we'd be friends. They would be nice to us. We would be nice to them. We would be trading with them. They would be trading with us. Everyone could have benefited. Everyone could have progressed. But we don't like progress. Donald Trump doesn't like progress. He hates that word. He wants us to go backward. Conservatism is a backward-facing ideology. They want backward. They want to go back to what used to be. They do not want tomorrow to be tomorrow. They do not want to progress into tomorrow. They want to go backward into whatever whenever they were personally 19, generally. I get that feeling when I speak to them. They want to go back to where they were when they were 19. That was the perfect world. All the music on the radio was great when they were 19. Everything was fantastic back then. The world was a much better place. Their dicks still worked. They got to go backward to that. And they would love to wake up tomorrow in the past. That is their entire ideology. They want to go back to what used to be. And what used to be is that Iran did not have nuclear weapons. Let's close that. Let's go over here. Unconditional surrender, again, doesn't make any sense. What else we got? We've got, oh, hey, here we go. Here's Donald again.
Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having.
Tulsi Gabbard, the spy chief, the person in charge of our fucking intelligence, in March said that they're not building a nuclear weapon, but he doesn't care what she said. I think they are very close to having one. Reality doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what is real. Doesn't matter what is correct or true. He doesn't care. He's just going to make up his own reality. He rejects the reality that you have, that I have, that we all feel together, and then substitutes his own. Because he doesn't care what's real. He doesn't care what's correct. He just cares about feeling like a tough guy. He needs his followers to
her
feel.
credit, she probably doesn't know shit about it.
And that's entirely true as well. Old skunkhead may not know what any of that is. She may be getting lied to. If we hired competent people, we would be a lot better off, honestly. Tulsi Gabbard's a moron who was on the opposite side of everything Trump only a few years ago. Do I have her tweet where she says something insane? Anywho, well, she was, I lost the tweet, but Tulsi Gabbard 7 years ago, I want to say, was complaining about regime change, how Donald Trump is wrong to try and get regime change in Iran. But that's what we're doing now. And she's there for it. And she's going to be on board for it. And she and her weird little skunk streak are going to go on Fox News and tell you.
Thank you for following Crash Ofahi. Smiley face.
Thanks, Crash of Ahi. You just turned a frog. You're just a frog gay. I hope you're proud of yourself. That frog was fine and good and cisgendered. Straight frog until you press that subscribe button. You made him gay. I'm proud of you. I appreciate that. So yeah, she was against him until the left said mean things about her, until the Democrats complained about her. And then she saw where all the money is and she ran to the right. The money is, there's always more money on the right. That's where the business is. That's where the money is. There's no money in telling the truth. That does not get you shit. You don't get shit for telling the truth, man. You get shit for bullshit. Bullshit pays, man. Tulsi Gabbard told the truth, didn't get anywhere. Nobody liked her. She starts telling bullshit. The right snaps her right up, starts giving her money, and puts her into the cabinet. You know, it's bullshit pays. You know, Donald Trump's bullshit all the time, and he even on something like this where he's speaking to reporters. If you ask tough questions, you don't get to be in this room. If you ask him difficult questions, you don't get to be here. If you ask him honest questions, he kicks you out. Bullshit pays. And that is the fall of Western civilization. Bullshit pays. It's going to ruin our entire society. We won't be able to function any longer because the only things that will get money and get paid and get monetized are bullshit. Let's see what else we got. Oh, hey, how would you like to, God, this is so fucking insane. Can I get a better photo of it? This is Mike Huckabee. Did you guys read this insane?
What are you doing? You had such a good publication, a Trump quoted thing XD.
Yeah, a Trump quote it thing. I don't know. So this is what is this? This is Mike Huckabee, the zealot, super religious, insane, fundamentalist Christian, insane guy. Can I get this on screen better? No, I can't. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read it from Mike Huckabee. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania, to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. The decisions on your shoulders I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters. His voice.
Waldop 3 EMO.
I am your appointed servant in this land, and I am available for you, but I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours, not since Truman in 1945. What did Truman do in 1945? He dropped a bomb. He dropped the H-bombs. Mike Huckabee wants Donald Trump to drop nuclear weapons on Iran. And he's in charge. He gets to directly text the president.
EMO.
I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from
This
heaven.
message should have been a blowjob.
It would have included one if he were in the room. I only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and to make sure our flag flies above the embassy. My job is to be the last one to leave. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you, Mike Huckabee. Followed by a hand job and a beach, and he just, Mike Huckabee's a cuck, right? Like, that's cuck language, obviously, right? Like, you can't, Donald Trump wants to fuck Mike Huckabee's wife. He can. Anytime he wants. Not that he would want to, but he can. And he knows he can. Because Mike Huckabee is weak. He is a weak man. And I'm tired of pretending. I did a whole video on YouTube.
Mr. President, I love you. Salute.
Right. I did an entire video. If you haven't watched it, it's on my YouTube page. You should go watch it, about men. They're a problem. But the point is that Mike Huckabee is a cuck. He is weak, pretending to be strong.
I forgot to say thanks.
Thank you for doing it. Yeah, exactly. He is a weak man. Mike Huckabee has very little strength. The strength he does have, it comes from his zealotry in an imaginary religion, an imaginary friend. His imaginary friend Jesus gives him some strength, but Donald Trump gives him the rest. He's weak, and he needs a strong man to lead him, either Jesus or Trump. Preferably both. He'll get down on his knees for both of them. Weak.
Oh, and thanks too, just for good measure.
Right. He's so weak. Most right-wing people want a big, strong daddy to protect them. That is the way they see the government. Right-wing people, when I speak to them, when I listen to what they have to say, the government is their dad. The government is their father. The government takes on a fatherly role for them because they love hierarchies. They do. They love that shit. They hate egalitarianism. That's woke gay shit. They love hierarchy. And so they need a big, strong man at the top, or else the hierarchy doesn't look right. When you put women or black people at the top of the hierarchy, it fuzzles their brain. It just breaks their thought process. They're like, we're supposed to have a strong man on top. GA, clearly I listen to everyone on the right wing. I hear everything they say, and this is what they tell me. This is what I hear from them. I'm psychoanalyzing them all the time. I'm like Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall went to live with the chimps. I have lived with the conservatives, and this is what they think. They love hierarchy. They want a big, strong man on top.
It makes them notice their boners when a guy does it.
If a woman is in charge, what do the conservatives say about women in charge? They slept their way to the top. They're just part of they're just playing the female card. They traded sexual favors. They said that about Kamala. She traded sexual favors for her position. That's what the right says, because they don't want her on top. It breaks their brain. They can't comprehend it. When a black guy like Obama is the president, what do they say about him? He played the race card to get where he was. He got affirmative action into college, and that is why he got there. And then he played the race card again to become a Harvard professor. That is the way they talk about them, because it hurts their brain to see someone who isn't a straight white man in charge. You do realize that women are right-leaning too. They can be. There are plenty of sexist women. I've known quite a few.
Black Obama, they that pretended was from Kenya.
Right, exactly. Yeah, women can be right-leaning as well, and they want a strong man in charge as well, because they also appreciate the hierarchy. Then, why am I on this again? Okay, so yeah, when they see people who aren't straight white people, like Mike Huckabee is a very weak man. He is incredibly weak. He needs a strong daddy type. Liberals and the left-leaning think of the government as their children. This is the way I see the government. It's exactly what the left are saying about Caroline Leavitt. Caroline Leavitt is a dipshit, but she's not stupid. She's evil. I think Donnie's half evil, half stupid. I think Stephen Miller is 100% evil. And I think Caroline Leavitt is 70% stupid, 30%. No. 70% evil, 30% stupid. You do not know anything about the right-leaning women. Yes, I do, GA. I listen to them all the time. I hear what they're saying. I hear what they're talking about.
Hey, I'm on Twitch now.
Hey, you're on Twitch now. Fantastic. Now you get to, now the robot can interrupt me. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you being here. Don't deflect, Law. What am I deflecting at? I know right-leaning women. I was raised by them. Man, I was born in Texas. I was surrounded. I was born in a ruby red place, surrounded by right-leaning people. I know exactly how they think. I know what they're thinking now.
Haha, thanks, body.
Yeah, I recognize them. I know what they're doing. I know what they're saying. I know how they're doing it. And the right-leaning women, I'm not one, but I have known quite a few of them.
Yo, welcome to Twitch. This is the spot. Interrupting bot could be good.
Right, exactly. So the right-leaning women also are religious, honestly. It's very rare. I can't even imagine. GA, would you agree with me on that one? All right-leaning women are religious. Right? I can't imagine why any other way for them to be. The left saying she slept her way to her position, and now you're calling her a dipshit and evil. The left, I haven't said that about her. If you've got a source, go on over to the Discord and leave a source to a left-leaning person saying that Caroline Leavitt slept her way to the top. I haven't said that. Have I said that? No. She's evil. And she was chosen because of her looks. Yes. I think that Donald Trump likes women who look good. He doesn't like mannish looking women. He hates them. So he surrounds himself with women who look like that because he doesn't want, because he is a TV personality. He loves the camera and he loves looking at the camera, and he wants the people who talk for him to look good and look good in that camera. He is a TV man, you know? So, and he comments on women's appearance pretty fucking often. You can find plenty of videos where he's talking about how a woman looks. Correct? You are not. I am. I am not religious. I am single, and I am not sexist either. Okay. So
there's some blurry lines, but the mass chunk of con women are religious, and the blurs are crystals and hippies that got sucked in by tin foil.
Crystals and hippies sucking people in to the right is a thing. That is a real thing. And that is a dangerous kind of a thing. But The View said it live on air. You can find it if you want to. That The View said that? Okay. They're not left either. They're centrists at best. If they said that, then they can be wrong too. I'm not here to defend the entire left. I'm here to defend me. And here's what I'm telling you. Caroline Leavitt is evil. She is a Nazi. She is a fascist. She wants an ethno-state of white people in America. And she will do whatever it takes to get that, to make that happen. And that will make her more rich and more famous and more powerful. So she's on board for
right it. Pipeline Greg Gutfeld, haha.
If The View is saying she slept her way to the top, and they are saying that without evidence, then they are just as bad as when the right says Kamala slept her way to the top, and I will yell at them for it. I don't watch The View. No, they're not. They're not what? The Caroline Leavitt's not a fascist? I mean, she is. She lies to you on a regular basis, and she started holding.
Attack the Waldos.
She started pushing for like what was that thing that Carolyn Levitt was doing? She was doing the alternate media press conferences. You know, the press conference, she holds a regular press conference with all the legacy media, and then she holds a second one with like Tim Pool and Dom Luker and lots of right-wing online chuds, so that she can lie to them and not CNN, and then they will repeat those lies on the internet. And then the Twitter and the people on the internet will repeat those lies very, very often, very loudly. Then Elon will repeat one of those lies, and then CNN has to talk about that lie. It's very awful. You're talking for the left and the right. I talk for anybody. I talk for me mostly, and I talk about everybody. No, The View are not center. Yes, they are. GA, the View, as far as I can tell, I don't watch it, is center. Dems are center. GA, do you think Biden is a leftist? Because I'm going to have some bad news for you. He's center. Bernie's the furthest left we have, and I'm on board with him. I'm maybe even further left than Bernie. There is no left in American politics. There's a center with the Dems, and then there's a right. That's it. There's no left-leaning party. AOC and Bernie are left-leaning, and they get shit on by their own party. Their own party shits on them constantly, ruins their press events, steamrolls them and throws them off of ballots and tries to harm them and their re-elections. But they keep coming back.
To neolib, which is right to center as far as I'm concerned.
Neocon to neolib, which is right to center as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, exactly. The people on The View, who's on there now these days? I don't have any idea. I haven't watched it in a very long time, but they are not leftists. Are they pushing regularly for universal health care? Probably not. Are they pushing for getting out of foreign wars? Are they pushing for
never heard ever mention a COOP program or a grant?
Right, a co-op program or a grant. Are they pushing for people to seize the means of production? You know, are they pushing for no more landlords? Are they pushing for housing first initiatives to save homeless people? They're not doing any of that. That's leftism. Well, that doesn't even make sense. So she lies to CNN, and then she lies to her favorite people. Yes, they could just repeat what she said already, lied about in the main press conference. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, boss, you're getting the order out of whack. She says medium lies to CNN at the regular press conference. Then she has a second press conference where she says giant, stinking monster lies to Tim Pool and Twitter celebrities. Those Twitter celebrities repeat those giant monster nonsense lies, the big fucking whoppers, on Twitter. Elon sees them. He repeats them. Now CNN has a report on what Elon said. So those big whopper lies make their way to CNN anyway. How can I say they are something and say you don't watch it? I'm going off my vibes from what I've seen when I watched it. They're provide me a clip of the people on The View pushing for Marxism, housing first initiatives, universal health care, UBI. What other left leaning things can we do? What was the thing? I forgot the thing. Anything that Bernie wants to talk about, the millionaires, the billionaires. You show me a clip of them talking about class consciousness or the class warfare that's going on, and I'll tell you that they're leftists. I really will. I've just never seen it. I've never seen it. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm saying that I haven't seen it because it's not a thing. I don't make any sense at all because you're asking me about things that I don't watch. If you asked me about baseball right now, I'd also tell you that I don't know that much about it. You tell me what they're saying on The View, and I'll argue with it. You tell me what I'm saying. You tell me what you're thinking, and I'll argue with it. But I don't watch The View. I haven't in a long time. They're on mainstream fucking TV. They're on daytime ABC television.
I'm sure
they're not
Oprah said
leftists.
Something like that, and also her books about that, and sponsored by Red Bull.
when you buy from the big chains and get fractional shares reward programs. Yeah, there you go. They're on ABC daytime. They're not pushing leftism. I have never watched it. I can fucking tell you that's exactly what the point. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And if I watched it, it wouldn't be leftism. Leftism is not allowed on mainstream TV, man. It's just not. They don't like it. It's bad for business. It's bad for the big businesses, because leftism, every step to the left is a step away from giant capital, big business. ABC's a business that needs to turn a profit. So they're not pushing Marxism. They're not pushing class war. They're not pushing taxing the millionaires and the billionaires. They push for all of that. I think you should do some research before you speak on something that is the problem with the world right now. You brought up The View, not me. I'm telling you what I'm thinking about it.
On the political spectrum.
Jon Stewart is to the left. I would agree with that. Jon Stewart is left of center, probably closer to, he's very close to Bernie. And that's a good place to be. You brought up The View, not me. And now I'm telling you what I remember from it for the very small amount of time that I've spent looking at it. And then extrapolating the small bit I've seen onto what I know of mainstream TV.
And feelings are antithetical to profit and margins.
Yeah, the people's ideas and feelings are antithetical to profit and margins. Yeah, absolutely. Pull up The View. I don't want to get my stream canceled, boss. You know that if I show things from the ABC News Network or the TV channel, they shut this whole shit down, right? Copyright laws are brutal. If you have a clip, throw it into the Discord, and I will be glad to look at it. And I will tell you whether or not they're leftist or not. But just
how lovely robot lady, heavy black heart.
Right. So, and we were talking about the Iran war. We're going to war with Iran. That's what I want to talk about. We were talking about Mike Huckabee and his crazy cucked out stuff. Mike Huckabee is a weak man who is cucked, and that's what we wanted to talk about. I bring up all these links so that I can talk about them. I have all these things to talk about. Let's see. What else is there to talk about tonight? So, we've got that guy. Yes, you're saying that they're not, but then admit you don't know about it. Weird, you don't have to show it, just watch it. Boss, if I watched it.
Dude lives on the internet, BTW.
If I watched it. GA is apparently like an intern at the View, and they need their numbers to go up. I appreciate you. Thank you. I recognize what low viewership can do to a person. Look at me. I'll think about it. Next time I see something from them, I'll take a look at it. But that's not like the point of what we're going for here. If you've got something interesting about The View, point it out, leave a link in the Discord. And I will watch anything that you put in there. I promise.
Discourse.
Oops.
Discord.
There's the Discord link. Go over there. Leave any video you want, and I will watch it, and we can talk about it. But right now, we're going to move on to the Iran war. So this is some rando person. 18 thoughts on Trump's maybe Iran war.
Boing boing robot.
This should be easy. No, if you're a frontline Democrat and your advisors and consultants are admonishing you with the West Wing lines about supporting the commander-in-chief or preempting a Republican attacks on your weakness or anti-Americanism, fire those people. I love this. This is a fantastic thing to say. If you're a Democrat and your advisors are telling you to get on board with Donald Trump, fire them. Number 2, there are considerations beyond no, such as should Trump be impeached if he takes the country to war under false pretenses somehow. But for now, no will do. That's a weird way to write a sentence. Anyway, opposing a war against Iran shouldn't require any delicate balancing act. It shouldn't. There are several dispositive reasons to oppose it and none to support it. There is no reason for a war in Iran. We should be avoiding it. And anybody telling you that we should go to war with Iran is a piece of shit.
Baby behave, yeah, baby, yet.
Dems can oppose Trump's Iran war because it would be
war.
Immoral. Dems can oppose. This is a bad thing. I'm sorry I did that. Iran's leader rejects call to surrender, saving U.S. intervention would cause irreparable damage. So they're not going to surrender. like Donnie asked them to. He had asked for unconditional surrender, and they're not going to give it. So here's the latest. Let's see what they've got going on. Iran's supreme leader on Wednesday rejected U.S. calls for surrender in the face of more Israeli strikes and warned that any military involvement by the Americans would cause irreparable damage to them. To them in Iran or them to us in America. The 60-second public appearance by Ayatollah Khamenei since the Israeli strikes began 6 days ago came as Israel lifted some restrictions on daily life, suggesting that the missile threat from Iran was easing. Khamenei spoke a day after President Donald Trump demanded in social media posts that Iran surrender without conditions and warned Khamenei that the U.S. knows where he is but has no plans to kill him yet. Trump initially distanced himself from Israel's surprise attack on Friday that triggered the conflict. I think this is because he didn't know it was happening. Donnie's a moron. And if he knew that Iran was going to attack, he absolutely would have told us. He'd have looked into a camera and said, something big is coming. You guys better watch the news, better watch the TV on Friday. Something's happening. Maybe something's going on. Something I can't talk about. It's bombing. We're bombing Iran. He would have done that. There is not going to be a war. I think there is. The Ayatollah is hiding in a bunker. That doesn't stop war. The top military are dead. Boss, if we killed their military, that's a war. The rest are deflecting. The Iranians hate the Ayatollah. There is no need for boots on the ground. There will be boots on the ground. How do we check
G_A troll or FED?
How do we check on their nuclear proliferation without sending people to check on it? Do you find it funny that in 2020 the entire left was protesting the deaths of Iranian women and the regime? No, that's the right thing to do. But now the entire left is supporting the regime just because they're Israel. They're not supporting the regime. You don't know what you're talking about. The left doesn't want a war that we're involved in. Genuinely curious about this opinion. I think it is strange. The left wants the people to throw Khamenei out.
Just asking Andy BS.
The left wants the people of Iran to be allowed to elect a democratic leader. Democracy. They would like that. That's what the left supports in Iran. We don't support them all dying because Israel's bombing them for no fucking reason. Indiscriminate bombings is not on board for the left. Nobody is supporting the Ayatollah here. Nobody on the left is supporting the Ayatollah. They're not. They're saying stop bombing them indiscriminately for no good reason. Stop trying to get us into war. Stop dragging us towards the destructive tendencies that happened back in the Iraq War. Stop doing the Iraq War again, because that's what we're doing. We're doing the whole damn thing again. Iran might have WMDs. That's why we're going to war with them. They might have WMDs. So we're going to have to bomb the shit out of them, and then we're going to have to send all the troops, the boots on the ground, are going to have to go there and search for them. Just like they did in Iraq. And then they will find none of them. And then a decade from now, you and the people on the right will talk about how it was a bad idea to go in. Do you think, GA, serious question for you, was Iraq a good idea? The latest Iraq war, not the first one.
You ever notice that cave people like to kill mammoths? Bet they were liberals.
Then why are you opposing this? I'm opposing killing them. I'm opposing going to war. The Iranians are celebrating and thinking Israel, they are happy. That's right-wing propaganda. Right-wing propaganda told you that the Iraqis, back in 2003,
for me, please.
In 2003, the right-wing media told you that we would be greeted as liberators. Do you remember that phrase? Greeted as liberators. They're telling you the same fucking lies, GA. They are telling you the same lies that they told you about Iraq. And some people in America are buying it. We won't need to check anything. The new government and the Iranians will be our allies once again.
Can't wait for Trump to cock up a early victory accomplished press conference.
Exactly. Donald Trump is going to put on the flight suit and go onto the aircraft carrier, and he'll have a big old mission accomplished banner. We're going to do all of it over again. We're going to do Iraq again. It was so much fun the first time. We did such a good job, and they greeted us as liberators. No, it's not. I've been watching Iranian people live streams for days. Their internet's shut off. Their entire internet is shut down right now. I don't think you have. I would love for you to show me one, but I don't think you have been. I think this is propaganda from the right wing again. They told you that what was going to happen in Iraq, we were going to go in there, we would be greeted as liberators, it would be very easy, we could muddle through Afghanistan, we would get all of this stuff, we would liberate them, we would bring them democracy, and they would be simpatico, our friends forever. It was a quagmire. It was a shit show. It was corporations
Hope the mic
stealing.
doesn't bomb us and blame Aaron.
We stole from them. Lots. You need to do your research. You need to seek out Iranians and what they are saying right now. This is so ignorant. How do I do that? Iran shut down their own internet. They don't want to be bombed by Israel. I know that for a fact. Listen, man, yes, I have. You could too, but you won't, because I will look for it later. I don't do live research while I'm on the air. I can, if you have a link, leave it with me, please. I have an entire Discord where you can leave this stuff. Yes, Iraq sucked. It was bullshit. Thank you. It's going to happen again, exactly like that. It's going to be exactly the same thing. The people on the right are war hawks. They want to go to war, and they want to bomb the shit out of people. We have all this military. We need to use it. They have been paying all this money for it. They want to use it. So it'll be a big storm of attacks and stuff like that. And then house by house, we will send our boys in.
Israel has a right to defend itself by preemptively striking things it thinks are dangerous and then have the U.S. pay for it.
And that's the other problem, is that Israel is doing this and dragging us into it. We didn't choose to go into this war. GA, you didn't choose to go into this war. Neither did I. The right of America sometimes want this war. Mike Huckabee definitely wants this war, but he's a doomsday hard right-wing lunatic. He's a Christian super freak. He wants this war because he thinks that it makes his magic spells happen sooner. So you tell me what to look at, boss. I'm telling you, I've got this stuff up right here. I've got the Associated Press right here. Let me keep reading and quit interrupting me. In a video addressed to the Israelis, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has pressed his stuff. Khamenei dismissed the threatening and absurd statements by Donald Trump. Here's what they're saying. They're not celebrating this. Wise individuals who know Iran, its people, and its history never speak to the nation with this language of threats because the Iranian nation is not one to surrender, said their leader. Americans should know that any military involvement by the U.S. will undoubtedly result in irreparable damage to them, the United States. Iran released Khamenei's statements before the video was aired.
We're going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it.
I know, right?
We're going to bomb our neighbors and make the USA pay for it.
An Iranian diplomat had warned earlier Wednesday that U.S. intervention would risk an all-out war. Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghai did not elaborate, but thousands of American troops are based in nearby countries with range of Iran's weapons. Thousands of American troops are in nearby countries. The U.S. has threatened a massive response to any attack. Another Iranian official said that the country would keep enriching uranium for peaceful purposes, apparently ruling out Trump's demands that Iran give up the disputed nuclear program. Who was that? That was, thanks for the follow, Atif. Are you sure you have an appetite for another Iraq war? I don't want another Iraq war, man. Atif, thanks for the follow. You just turned a frog guy.
Lapdogs like McCain, who was president of the Project for a New American Citizenship, then became Project for a New American Century.
I appreciate you, sir. You just turned a frog guy. I'm proud of you. You every time you press the follow button, you turn a frog guy. I can go and let you keep being willfully ignorant. Give me a source. One, literally anything, to tell me that you're correct. Please name something.
In before OCT7TH.
You think Iranian women want to keep being murdered for showing their hair? No, they don't.
Join the Discord to send links and suggestions. https://discord.gg/pjetritz8.
But the Iranian women aren't in charge of the military, are they? They're not in charge of whether or not they surrender. They're not in charge of the bombs being dropped on them. The Iranian women What the Iranian women want doesn't matter because they're not in charge of Iran. They're not in charge of Israel, who's dropping the bombs on them. They're not in charge of America, who's giving the bombs to Israel to drop on them. What the Iranian women want doesn't matter right now. I would rather they be in charge, but they're not. I'm happy that finally Americans woke up and stopped sacrificing their lives or resources for others' problems. I don't want to go to war with Iran. It will be bad. It will be bloody. It will be miserable. It will be just like Iraq. It will be awful. Only worse, because Iran is bigger than Iraq. So why are you supporting the people who are oppressing them? I'm not, GA. You don't know what nuance is. It's complicated, I know. Nuance is difficult. What I would like is for Israel to stop dropping bombs on my fucking behalf. That's what I want. I'm an American. I'm an American citizen. I pay American taxes, and I don't want that going to Israel to drop bombs on Iran. I would like that to stop. Is that supporting the Iranian regime? No. I also want the Iranian people, those Iranian women that you talked about, who are being killed for showing their hair, to get a better deal and stop letting that government operate the way it does. If they want our help with that, I will help them with that. It's very complicated. It's very difficult. Regime change is
Bother
incredibly
you later,
difficult.
Waldo.
Yep. Thanks,
See you
any
in
of it.
Gulag.
I appreciate it. And Iran doesn't put not 1% threat to U.S. Exactly. They don't threaten us right now. Even if this escalation looks like they are respecting and avoiding us, they don't have the means to attack mainland USA. They don't. And we shouldn't be bombing them either. But we're playing a game of proxy war. It's the proxy war that always goes on with things after anything after World War II is just proxies. You know, the Russians paid the Taliban to bomb Americans, and then Americans paid the Kurds or something like that to bomb the Taliban. It's a whole fucking thing. We only do proxy wars. Right now, Russia is invading Ukraine, and we're paying Ukraine to bomb the Russians. Proxies. Again, our proxy this time is Israel, and they have gone off the fucking deep end, and they're bombing someone without our without running a bias. I don't think they told Donald Trump about it because he couldn't have kept it secret. He'd have told us. Great, then you should be supporting it then. No, those Iranian women that you're so in love with are going to die horrible deaths when Israel bombs them. The people you're trying to support here are going to be miserable. Millions of them will die to Iranian bombs. Millions of them will die to American-made munitions. I don't want that. Yes, but be honest, Israel is using you guys to eliminate Arabs. Yes, they are. Israel is doing this without our consent, because Donald is a weak moron who doesn't know what's going on, doesn't understand politics, doesn't understand how to do anything. He doesn't know what the world is. He doesn't know what he couldn't find half the time. Donnie can't find the countries on the map, and the other half of the time he can't find the map. Yes, and then Iran paid Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah to attack Israel. Yes, they did. They're not good people.
United Nations formed one reason to prevent rogue nation states other than Israel and America.
Yeah, exactly. The UN looks over, turns a blind eye. The UN has like a blind spot for America and Israel. So when we do the bad things, they cover their eyes. They don't see that shit. Iran has paid terrorists. I don't want that. Instead of bombing the shit out of them, let's make them an ally. That's what the Obama-Iran deal was about. Giving them rules, structure, and guidelines. And then, if they stick to those rules, if they follow the rules, we would open up trade with them. We would give them back the money that we stole from them, and then they would get more benefit from being our ally than being our enemy. They would rather be a part of the American hegemony than pay Houthis to bomb the Strait of Hormuz or whatever the hell it is. But they only have two options. They're not allowed to be America's ally because we hate them. how you, Israel, want to find peace in a land they stole. It won't work. I recognize that the Israel problem is difficult. And while you haven't done a lick of research on what the Iranians think, and this is crazy, the people don't like their government, GA. I'm agreeing with you. The people aren't in charge in Iran. Do the people in Iran want to be bombed? Do they want to be bombed? I bet they don't. Are they in charge of their government? Is it a government of the people, by the people, for the people? No, it's not. How do we square this? You tell me how we square this, since you know everything. I'm here giving you my opinions, telling you how I feel. That's what I'm doing here. Tell me how you feel. Like Israel should be ashamed that she's already in the land she got by force. Instead, she's still starting the wars with the crafty. Yeah, and yes, they were celebrating. Where? What channel? What news conference? What news media that I haven't seen did you see? Tell me. Oh, all over the internet. Okay. Just in general, just around the internet. None of those specific sites. Don't like give me a site or one of the news feeds that I could look at or show me a site. Go to the internet since you're so smart, and then let me know what it was. Give me just a basic address. Reddit.com. You drop the links. Where at? Let's see.
It's true because I said it is.
Well, and I recognize that I'm talking out my ass all the time. It's what I do here. And I love that you're here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Remember when citing our sources was the norm?
I'm telling you how I feel, and I've not seen this. If this is happening, I want to see it. Show it to me. Where is the link? Where? You can't drop links in chat. You have to do it through the Discord. Because
Discord.
I keep getting rickrolled, or spammers come on and drop their stuff. So if you're watching, if you're super into this, go to the internet, find the dancing Iranians who are so very happy that they're being bombed by Israel. I would love to see it. I'm not saying it's not real, GA. I'm telling you I haven't seen it. Are you capable of running the entire live stream but can't do research? I haven't seen it. I did research all fucking day, and it's right here. But you've got something that I haven't seen, and I'd love to see it. You just haven't shown it to me yet. You don't have Discord. Well, what kind of loser doesn't have Discord? Looks like the only guy with humanity on is me and on Kick. Yeah, Kick is a weird place.
Not like humanity this, not like this, Waldop 3 drama, not like this, Waldop 3 drama, not like this, not like this.
Do the Iranian people want to get bombed by Israel? No. Do they like their government? No. Is that government still in charge of the military? Yes. I'm not arguing, Jay, that the Iranian people love their government. They don't. Right now, they don't want to die to Israel bombs. And I agree with that. I suspect that they don't want to die to Israel's bombs. It's just crazy how people in 2025 can find justification for what Israel's doing. Yeah, and I don't like what Israel's doing. What I think we should do, and I have a solution. Okay, GA, tell me what you think about my solution for the Israel problem. We've gone too far. There's no going back now. Two-state solution is not going to function. Won't work. Even if they was there, they would just
knows no bounds.
Be killing each other still. The American military rolls into Gaza with troop carriers, empty, and loads up literally every single Palestinian who wants to go with us. We tell them specifically, we have food for you, we have clothing, we are going to ship you to another country. I'm sorry, it's the best we can do. And then the ones who want to come can come.
Yeah, this is the Abrahamic ideology, destruction then salvation thing, nothing new under sun.
Right, and then we take them with us to another country. And not one fucking ghetto. We don't just find one place within the middle of the Egyptian desert and dump them all. No, we spread them across the globe We send 1,000 families to the U.S. We send 1,000 families to Canada. We send 1,000 families to Mexico. We send 1,000 families to Australia. We send 1,000 families to someplace else. And now there's no more people in Gaza, except the ones who refused to get on that troop thing. And they just get to duke it out, bloody style, with Israel. I'm not happy about that, but that was a choice they could have made. Stay and die, or come with us and live somewhere else. Does that respect their religion? No, but I don't respect any religion. They're all imaginary to me. So them having a religious claim to the land is nothing to me. So I'm sorry, that's the only way that I can see we solve this problem. And they can become citizens of their new countries. They're not dual citizenship. Israel takes all that land, which is what they want anyway, and then they'll start bombing Iran some more. And then we cut Israel off. With all the money we were spending on Israel's weapons, we give to the countries that take the Palestinian families. From there, we cut Israel off. We do not give them any more aid. We do not give them any more stuff. We're not antagonistic towards them. We're not bombing them. You're cut off. And if they want to get back in our good graces, they can start behaving properly. That's my plan anyway. I think
there
you're
are no
lying.
perfect answers to the perpetual holy wars in the Middle East.
Right. There's no answer to
Props
any
to
holy
anyone
war.
who attempts to contemplate it.
There is no right answer to any holy war. I think you are lying. GA, what am I lying about? I don't think you actually want to see it. You're telling me what I think now. You are researching what a news outlet told you instead of going to the source. What source? Name it. For the love of God, name it. It is the difference between us. Name the source. Please, for the love of Jesus, tell me what you're talking about. I don't think you can, because you imagined it. And until you provide a source, you've imagined it. In my head, you've imagined it. They say that saving Iranians imagine how these bipolars lives. Yeah. No, that's stupid. I think we need to remove the terrorist regimes.
G_A is moments away from throwing out facts, not feelings.
I know, right? Sort of like Saudi Arabia, the UAE. Why are Israelis living peacefully there? Why are they prosperous and not a hellhole? You are wrapped up in 10 kinds of ideology, and I don't know what it is yet. I haven't unraveled you yet, but my plan is stupid with no reason. I think we need to remove the terrorist regimes. You know what causes those terrorist regimes? Living in an open-air prison, living as second-class citizens, having Israelis throw shit at you every day, being unable to leave your home because you can't come back to it, being unable to move around freely because they have chosen your ethnicity to be below theirs. That breeds terrorism. And it's the Israelis that are doing that. Would the Gazans do that if they were in charge to the Jewish people? Yes, they might, but they're not in power right now, so they don't have that ability. Separate these two children. They're acting like kids, and they need to be separated. The same people who call the terrorist regimes are the ones who aggressively killed kids and women to take lands. Yeah, those Gazans are having their homes stolen.
Pressure cookers are fake news. People are perfectly fine and capable of being comfortable and civil when squished together and impoverished.
Yeah, exactly. They're starving to death. That starving and being impoverished leads to the terrorism. Still erasing them, waiting for help, that mostly make them starve by cutting off the supply chains. Yeah, exactly. They're starving them. GA, I really do want that source. I'm waiting for it. Give me at least a website to look for. Don't say the entire internet. If it was on x.com, then say x.com. It's okay. Means not a very good source. What are we looking at? Strikes in and around Tehran. Iran's police force acknowledged the strikes hours after, saying that Israel hit its central command buildings in Tehran and wounded some officers, without saying how many. In addition, the UN Nuclear Watchdog Agency said Israel hit 2 centrifuge production facilities near Tehran. Israel's air campaign. Hey, remember when we saw that they didn't have any of these during 2016 because they got rid of them? They wouldn't be here to be bombed. Israel's air campaign struck several nuclear and military sites, killing top generals and nuclear scientists. A Washington-based Iranian human rights group said that at least 585 people, including 239 civilians, those are the women that GA is so interested in, have been killed in Iran and more than 1,300 wounded. All right. Tusi TV, Lawe al-Sharif. Okay. I'm going to look at that on the Google. Let's go to the Googs. Where's my thing? Here we go. All right, everybody, keep chat going while I Google this up. We're going to type in TOUSI TV. LOAY ALSHAREEF. Okay. This is an Egyptian Saudi YouTuber. 54,000 views a week ago. Israel is saving the world. Israel isn't fighting for itself, it's fighting for you. I'm going to look at this real quick, but I'm going to mute it so that you guys don't have to hear it. How old is this? This is 12 days ago. Israel is saving the world 2 days ago. He seems to be on board for the Israel bombing things.
By the way, if it's not removed, it will come after you here in Europe, in London, in Montreal, in Canada, in the US, and also after us, the moderate Arab states as well. Israel is not fighting on its behalf. Israel is fighting on behalf of humanity. So when those in the
He seems to be on board with the bombing of the people.
West say, let's stop this ugly war, I would say absolutely. But this war cannot stop if Hamas's evil is not removed. And by the way, if it's not removed, it will come after you here in.
This is propaganda. He might believe what he's saying, and I think you might be right to believe him. He's a propagandist, but is he a propagandist? I don't know. He sounds like one to me, off the top of my head. Iranian man who fled the country with his mother as a child, and his father is currently in Iran. Look at his comments and live chats if you want more evidence from the Iran citizen support for Israel. They don't want to die to Israeli bombs. Does this guy want more bombs dropped by Israel? Because I don't. And he probably doesn't either. And the people don't want it. Nobody wants that. Oh my God, people can't see things out of their box. Oh my God, the sheep theory is real. Aren't even going to listen to what he has to say. I'm not going to listen to what he has to say, GA, because I'm live streaming. I don't know who he is.
I appreciate G_A supplying sources for their mindset.
And I will look at that. Not live on air, GA. You know what happens to YouTubers who click blind links? They get into trouble. I don't know who this guy is. It's not the structure of my little stream here to find new information and click on links and listen to people I've never heard of before. I will do that on my own time. And I will tell you later at a different stream after I've cleared this stuff. Like, I don't know what he's going to say. He could be an absolute anti-Semite and spitting slurs. I don't know if he is or not. That gets my whole stream taken down. I don't know if that's true or not. I also don't let people into the voice chat. You could.
Dance, Waldo. Dance.
I know, right? If you have something, say that's a conversation. You just use the links. Scroll on alone. Yeah, exactly. Typical Israeli supporters. Well, that guy's a supporter of Israel. This guy is right here. He's right there, and he's talking about how Israel needs to go to war with Iran. And if he has a point, he can make it. I will look at it. I will find out who he is. I have his name right here now. I can look at it later and determine whether or not if it's okay for me to even be putting up on screen. He might. I don't trust him. And I don't trust you because you've only been here for one day. I appreciate you coming, though. Lawyer Sharif is a man who says himself was told to hate Jews as a child. That sounds awful. And then he has changed his entire view. That sounds great. The entire talk you just pulled up is great, and you should really listen to him. I will. Off air. And then if it's really good, I can bring it on and put it up here. I appreciate the link. Thank you. You've supplied a source. That's great. I will look into it. I will listen to it. And if it's good, I'll put it on the screen. Non-Darwish Egyptian woman who
There are
grew
also
up
global
in
hermetic
Gaza.
orders that have their own oaths.
Another person who can tell exactly what's going on in Gaza. Okay, great. They're bringing exceptional experience as proof. Yeah, well, individual experience is anecdotal, sure. But
cut a rug, Waldo, haha.
You're right, I am dancing. Let's see. What the hell else were we going to talk about? So, I think that's enough for Iran. Now, let me finish and turn this into a proper YouTube video. Here's the end that I was trying to get to, is that the cost of the Iraq War. The cost of the Iraq War was massive, gigantic, and awful. This is the Iraq War. It cost us, in operations, $862 billion, veterans care, $233 billion, interest, $230 billion, increase in the DoD base budget, $412 billion, and State Department operations, $62 billion. It cost, the paper examines the total cost of the war in Iraq and Syria, which are expected to exceed 500,000 human lives. 500,000 human lives gone. $289 trillion. The budgetary figure includes costs to date, estimates of about $1.79 trillion, and the cost of veterans care through 2050. Since the United States invaded Iraq in 2003, between 550 and 580,000 people have been killed in Iraq and Syria. This is going to be much worse. If we go to war with Iran, these numbers will be much, much higher. I just watched a live stream last night and was in tears at the end of it, seeing how people treated him. The Palestinians showed exactly who they are and why they are doing what they are. And again, straight from the source. One guy telling you how it went down is not a source. It's anecdotal. You know the difference between a source and an anecdote, right? I don't think you do. But I'll look into this. I'm not happy with the way the Iranian government works. I'm not happy with the way the Israel government works. I'm not happy with the way the Gazan Hamas people are. It's not good. But saying that there's three bad guys doesn't mean that there has to be a good guy. Don't think binary. Stop thinking there's bad guys and good guys. Everybody has their own angle. And some of them are worse than others. So yeah, it's going to be so much more expensive because Iraq had 29 million people, I want to say. It only had like 25 to 29 million people. Iran has 90 million and 10 million just in Tehran. This will be wildly expensive, wildly dangerous. The death toll will be massive if we go to war with Iran, and I think we are going to. If Donnie gets his way, well, he doesn't have a way. If things continue the way they are, Israel will continue bombing. The Americans will have to step in, and we will have to send people in. We will have to send in the ground troops. I think at this moment, we are on track to have troops in Iran. And they will have to go door to door and fight an insurgency, just like they did in Iraq. And it will be shitty. It will be brutal. It will be awful. And we will lose the last shreds of credibility we have as a country. America will have no more credibility because we have been doing this bullshit for my entire life. And why would anybody want to be our friend? Why would anybody want to be our ally? Why would anybody keep up with us? Why would they want to do trade deals with us? We're just going to fucking waste it all on bombing the shit out of some Middle Eastern country for no reason. It was actually dozens of people over and over again. Okay, fine. I'll look into it. If you actually care about the truth, you should watch all of them, I suspect, based on the typical response of this is propaganda. Thanks for the sources, but you probably won't. I'll take a look at it. Jesus H. Christ. Settle the fuck down. Vulnerable to your real enemies. It's the Arabs and the terrorists that they call them. Well, we will spend all of our money and all of our time and all of our lives and all of our soldiers and all that stuff to do this regime change, and then it won't do any good. We didn't win in Iraq. We didn't win in Afghanistan. And we're not going to win in Iran. I'm changing subjects completely. You can keep typing if you want, but I'm not going to read it. What the hell are we talking about? The immigration's still a pain in the ass, but it's not getting any better and not getting any worse. But what I really want to talk about tonight, again, is crypto. Let's talk about crypto. The Senate passes landmark crypto regulation bill on bipartisan vote, sending it to the House. This is the new form of bribery within our government. The Dems are on board for it. The 68 to 30 vote on the Genius Act was the first time that the Senate has passed a major legislation to regulate digital assets. After weeks of stops and starts, Senate Republicans teamed up with a bloc of Democrats on Tuesday to pass a landmark cryptocurrency bill that will establish the first regulatory framework for issuers of stablecoins. The vote of the Genius Act was 68 to 30, with 18 Democrats joining most Republicans in favor. Just 2 Republicans, Rand Paul of Kentucky and Josh Hawley of Missouri, voted against it. The vote was the first time that the Senate passed a major legislation regarding digital assets. With this bill, the United States is one step closer to becoming the global leader in crypto, said Bill Haggerty in Tennessee, who's going to make lots and lots and lots of money from these crypto bros and the people who bribe him through crypto. Today, we will be remembered as an inflection point for innovation in the United States of America. So the innovation being it's easier to bribe them. The Genius Act now heads to the Republican-led House, which has been working to pass its own bipartisan bill focused on creating a regulatory framework for digital assets. Washington continues to wrestle with how best to regulate the fast-growing cryptocurrency industry. Democrats have been divided over the issue, with some of the party pushing Congress to do more to rein in an industry they see rife with conflicts of interest for President Donald Trump and his family, because
the off I got from the Navy looks better and better every day. I least have that going for me. HAHA. Thank lovely robot lady. Heavy black heart smiling face with open mouth and tightly closed eyes.
I have never seen such corruption. Trump's crypto deals and loosening of rules shock observers. After courtship with crypto industry, President now profits immensely from the sector he once said seemed like a scam. And here's the problem. Donald Trump will make money because of this. They are just giving him money. Cryptocurrency billionaire, multi-billionaire Justin Sun could barely contain his glee. Last month, Sun publicly flaunted a $100,000 Donald Trump branded watch that he was awarded at a private dinner in Trump's Virginia Golf Club. Sun had earned the recognition for buying 20 million of the crypto meme coin. That's money directly into Donald Trump's pocket. $20 million just given right to him. He has the coins. He controls their price by selling and buying and selling them. 20 million goes in, 20 million goes to Donald Trump's pocket. Meme coins, Doge coins, the Trump coins. This cryptocurrency is how you bribe politicians. And the Democrats want in, damn it. It shouldn't just be Republicans. That's why 18 of them voted for it, because they want that money too. Let's keep reading. Let's see. Trump's much hyped 22 May dinner, blah, 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 meme coins, blah, blah, blah. Trump's private events on 22 May to reward the top purchasers of Trump have sparked strong criticism of the president from ethics watchdogs, ex-prosecutors, and scholars for exploiting his office for personal gain in unprecedented ways, but they fit a broader pattern of how Trump has exploited the power and lure of his office to enrich himself and some top allies via cryptocurrencies. And the Dems want in. Why is only Donald Trump making money from these crypto scams? Chuck Schumer could be making that money. Nancy Pelosi could be making that money. The Democrat senators could be making that money. And they love money. A secret group chat reveals that Democrat strategists plan to support the Pro-Crypto Genius Act for political gain, despite knowing it's Trump's corruption giveaway. They know it's corrupt. They know it's crooked. No, I'm not clicking on your paywall. The Dems know it's crooked. They know it's corrupt. They know that this is how bribery happens now. And they want a slice. That's the problem. We no longer have a government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's of the money, for the money, by the money. That is where we live now. We live in an oligarchy. I know. Not because somebody turned it that way, but because the Dems allowed it to happen. The Republicans want it to happen. They're pushing for it to happen. And the Dems are like, well, if we're going to do bribes, maybe we should get some bribes too. I mean, you can't let the Republicans be the only people who get bribes. That wouldn't be fair. We want bribes too. Let's see. There's more on this one. Let's see. Lightning fast. House lawmakers get a stern directive from Donald Trump. He told them what to do. Donald Trump took to the Truth Social platform on Wednesday to demand that the House immediately act on a new package of cryptocurrency laws passed by the Senate. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that's going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Nobody will do it better. It's pure genius, wrote Donald Trump. Digital assets are the future, and our nation is going to own it. We are talking about massive investment and big innovation. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean Genius Act. Get it to my desk ASAP, no delays, no add-ons, Trump added. This is American brilliance at its best, and we are going to show the world how to win with digital assets like never before. This is his payday, baby. Of course he says that. This money goes directly in his pocket. This is the big fat bribe bill. BBB, big bribery bill. And he wants it passed soon as possible, so he can start making that dosh, so he can get that money. Did you know that there's an app that someone created for people to invest alongside Nancy Pelosi? Yes, that is a thing. And it allows people to mirror her investments since she is involved in insider trading. That is a good idea. If you're a soulless ghoul who wants to make money, you can just do what she does. I think it should be illegal for her to do that, to do the insider trading. I would absolutely support lawmakers being unable to own stocks at all. The stock market is a giant gambling den. It is only 1 degree more legitimate than the cryptocurrencies. And I don't want any of them to own those stocks. I don't want any of them to own crypto coins. I don't want any of them to own hotels, honestly. Donald Trump owns hotels. The Saudis, the Saudi princes, would pay him tons of money to stay at those hotels and then never show up. So it's just a bribe, man. They're just giving him money and getting nothing in return. What do they get in return? They get meetings. They get FaceTime with him. They get phone calls. They get to tell him what they think about legislation. There's been more advanced AI auto trading and copy trading premium access. It's not a tip of a strategy. It's really on there. The auto trading usually linked with crazy API like Twitter news. Yeah, it's bad. Accuracy they say is high, but it's can't really rely on it fully. I don't want Nancy Pelosi to own stocks. I think it should be illegal for anyone who is especially on the federal level, to own stocks at all. I don't want them to do it. The stock market is a scam. Yes, I know. It's imaginary. I don't like the way that our entire economy is based on the investors' feelings of stocks. That's not a good way to build things. It leads to the bubbles, the rise and the fall, the bubbles and the bursts that we've been getting over the past few decades. It's bad for the American society. It's bad for all of us. But the parasite class that exists within our country are the investors. The investors are the parasites. All the arguments about immigrants coming in here and leeching off the system, nonsense. The investors are leeching off the system. Deep down in reality, nobody knows what will ever knows the market will go up or down. Well, yeah, it's the investors that are trying to control it and or drive it and ride it. They could have more control over a cryptocurrency. Donald Trump can buy the cryptocurrency under a fake name, or he could have somebody buy it for him and then sell it when it's the best time. And yeah, he can use the whales to move the cryptocurrency better than he could the actual market, because the market has so many people in it, you can't really move them. But he owns the majority of the Donald Trump coins. So if a lot of people come in and buy them, that drives the price right up, and then he sells it, and then he keeps that money. And then when he wants it to come back down, he'll buy up a bunch of his own coins, hold them under a fake name, and then someone will come in and buy them from him. It's a scam. Cryptocurrency is a scam. All of them. The blockchain is a tool. I dig that. I understand that the blockchain is a device, a tool for a specific purpose, keeping the distributed ledgers. I understand that the blockchain is and what it does. But when you turn that tool, the blockchain, to making a currency, it becomes a scam. That's when the scam starts. That's when you put in dollars, get cryptocurrencies, and then if you want to spend them, you got to turn them back into dollars. And if you're lucky, they're worth more dollars. If you're not lucky, somebody rug pulled you and they're worth a lot less, and you gave them money just because you wanted to. But the Dems are on board for this because we are a country of, for, and about the money. That is what matters. The money, 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 money. SpongeBob, me boy. It's all about the money. It's all about the money now. Donald makes decisions to make himself more powerful, to get more money, to make himself more power, to get more money. The Democrats don't care about you or your positions. They don't give a shit whether you're for or against gay marriage or trans rights or trans kids being access to gender affirming care. They don't give a shit what you think about that. Money. That's what they give a shit about. They need the dollars. They need the lobbyists to give them corporate dollars. They need the money. Everyone in our government is addicted to dollars. And it's wrecking our shit. It's ruining the actual society that we're supposed to have. We can't do good things because good things aren't profitable. I'm completely off the rails here, but remember when Donald Trump was complaining about the California wildfires and saying that they had to rake the floor? The California wouldn't have so many wildfires if they just raked the floor of the forest. Who's going to do that? Nobody. The government's not going to pay for it. Donald Trump's government sure as hell not going to pay you to rake the floors of the forest. Fuck no. And the California government's not going to pay for it. That would mean that they have to raise taxes. They're taxed enough already over in California. They pay enough of taxes already, and it ain't fucking working. So who's going to do it? Nobody. There's no value. There's no dollar bills to be made in scraping up pine cones and pine needles off of the ground. You can't turn those into a product. Oil, you can turn into a product. You can drill oil out of the ground, turn it into 1,000 very important, valuable things. But leaves? No. That's why we need a government of the people, by the people, for the people, separate from the capitalism. If capitalism is the only power, then the only things that will get done are the things that are profitable. And it's not profitable to rake those leaves, so that it doesn't get done. It's about time for me to knock off for tonight. Atif33, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much for keeping Kick Chat alive. Kick Chat is usually pretty quiet because there's not a whole lot of people there, and the people who are there are pretty hard right wing. So I appreciate you coming over to the showing up on the Kick Chat. Thank you very much. Thanks for everybody in Twitch chat. Keeping it real. The robot works only on Twitch.
Robot.
I'm not smart enough to make it work anywhere else, and then I can't. It won't work with YouTube. GA, thank you for coming in on YouTube chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for leaving a link to something interesting that I will watch, and I can talk about it later. That is it for me today, and I see that.
Thank body. Have a good evening.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for and thanks for all the interruptions. That's super fun. It makes it fun. I can turn those off if I want to, but I just didn't need to tonight. But yeah, that's it for me tonight. I will be back in a week because I've got family coming in on Saturday, so I'm not going to stream on Saturday. So I'm going to be gone for a whole week. I will be back on Wednesday, maybe Monday, but probably Wednesday. Back on Wednesday for at the same time, starting at 7, unless the Gestapo kicks in my door and drags me off to the gulag. So that's it for me tonight. GA, thanks for coming. I appreciate you.